I just bought this diesel lawnmower and it's already giving us issues. About 15 minutes into ownership, we have this light flashing. Oil or hydraulic fluid is too hot. That's a shame because this thing looks to be an absolute beast. A 3-cylinder diesel Yanmar 37 horsepower motor. It's no diesel dump truck or generator, but it should be enough to conquer this almost 6-foot deck on here at 72 inches. Overall, nice condition, but it's got its little quirks we're gonna have to figure out and fix. I let this cool off so we can try and diag it. I say first thing, let's slowly release the bomb here. It's been long enough. There we go, good. Taking a peek in the red, looks like we are pretty low. I'm gonna guess it already took everything out of here that it could take out. Yep, we are empty there as well. If you didn't know, coolant is one of those things that you don't want to mix the wrong coolants together. It can lead you with a paste or something you really don't want in your cooling system. Of course, you look up John Deere and they say to use Cool Guard from John Deere only. If they want to play that game, we'll use the all makes, all model coolant. You know what? Let's grab a funnel. That'll save us a mess we don't want. That took about half a gallon plus about a half a gallon of water, so about a gallon low. And the system, I assume, really doesn't have too much in it for the size of engine. Also, the reservoir was empty, so we got that topped off as well. The reservoir has the straw, so if it needs to draw coolant out of here, it will do that. Looking this over, it looks like a pretty fresh new oil filter, so that's good to see. We'll still give this thing the full service, hydraulic fluid, fuel filters, engine oil, you name it, we're gonna get it. Let's first at least let the thing operate and run. Might as well check our hydraulic oil while we're here. Sometimes it'll tell you on the dipstick if you need to thread it in or not, but I don't see that, so we'll just stick it in and thread it. We'll take it out. It's really hard to see, so we'll set it on here, kind of see where it ends up. Right in the middle, so that's good. Another thing these are bad for is having a dirty radiator. There's no screen, which is kind of stupid. It's really hard to tell if the radiator is actually dirty or not, and you can't really see through the other side here. Fear is we have an electrical gremlin, but I think that's just me thinking worst case scenario. This plug looks new here, new wires, not sure what that is for or why. Pop off the air filter cover here and see if that's clogged. Wow, it actually looks like someone just did this thing with the John Deere numbers as well, so someone like their OEM. Last thing, let's check the oil here. Looking at our oil there, it seems that we are in the clear. Unrelated to our issue, these things are supposed to be up top, and I assume that's because when you want this folded up, you don't want it rattling around. That's gonna need some love and care and sitting here beating this up. So for now, let's pull that out of there. We'll have to remember to come back to that. My thought is, let's run this thing as it is. Hopefully it does not overheat on us. Actually, one thing I'm looking at here is those babies are looking pretty low. I'm thinking these guys probably need some air. I assume you probably don't want these with too much PSI, too much air, because you don't have any suspension up here. Like, it is just rigid metal on metal. Right now we're at 9, so let's bump this up maybe to like 15. That seems a little healthier. Yeah, this side is pretty low too. If you are a zero turn guy, I'd be happy to hear what you're running and what you found to be the best PSI. This one's at 6, so we'll boost that up. Why not do the rear? We did the front too. Let's see what we're at. 12, we'll do 15 again. And last but not least, let's see what we're at here. 13. That's pretty evident here. A new set of rubbers this is going to be in our future. I'll be looking for something in a 26, 12, 12. Which, now that I think about it, what is the 1025R? Actually, same tire size, 26, 12, 12. That's kind of wild. It's the same tire size as a 1025R. Or another one I've been looking at is the Carlisle Versa Turf. All right, the plan now is to go mow, test this baby out. She purrs like every Yanmar ever would. Something interesting is the deck lift is right here. I don't know if this is aftermarket or what, but that is the deck lift. So you push it, the deck comes up and drops down when you let go. If all it is a contact, I'd like to maybe move it to a button up here where it's just push button up and down for the deck. A pain reaching out and shoving that thing in there. Not to mention, it kind of looks janky. I have a hard time believing that's factory. Before we lose this in a field somewhere, we're gonna chuck that in our pocket. Parking brake off. I've never really run zero turns, but I always thought that when you let go, it's supposed to return to neutral, and it will if you pull it back. But it seems like it always kind of holds wherever you stop, whether it's forward or backwards. It just kind of creeps along. That's an adjustment for another day. They're not perfectly close in together. They just kind of all the way out. Same with this guy. So maybe there's something in there that's shot. All right, there's no time to learn how to use a zero turn except for on a hill here. We'll cut this field first, see how it works, and hopefully we get through it. Okay, we got some good and bad news. Good news is our fix, I think, worked. No overheating issues. It actually didn't drink any coolant. We must have actually got all the air out of it. Bad news is I must have ran over some type of thorn because I pulled it out of here, and sure enough, she's flat. Big hole, not holding air. We're done for the day. I gotta solve one more thing that I'm gonna tell you right now is just driving me nuts. This thing just rattles all around. If you remember, we took these guys out. The all thread they used is kind of like some weird system. I don't know if that's the way it came or that's what someone did, but everything is so blown out of here, it doesn't hold it tight. I found the right size bolt for this. I'm definitely either gonna run a crush washer or Loctite. This thing just vibrates like crazy. Those little diesels always do. So let's put it back in place and see if that's gonna be long enough. Let's try and slip this guy up through the top. Looks like it's gonna end up being a nice tight fit in here. Not telling you I'm going to strip it, but I'm definitely cranking it down pretty good so we don't have any vibrations. Now let's do the same thing to the other side. It broke loose. Let's get the other side all set in place and snug down. And that should do it. Let's test it out here. Oh, is that much, much better. To think all someone had to do was put a bolt in there and they could have avoided destroying that. But oh well, it's fixed. Here's another good one we got time for. There's a bolt that's missing right here. It's supposed to sit flush like these guys. So instead of getting a bolt like that, let's grab something super tall and just throw it in there. Not a fan of that one either, so let's grab a replacement. It is M6, but I'm gonna have to get a more shallow bolt there to make that nice and flush. We still didn't solve our picking up issue. From here, I think a new set of rear tires. Evidently, I need to get the little beefier front tires for what I'm cutting through. Service kit, hydraulic, oil, engine oil, whole 9 yards. Thinking of repainting the deck here because of the sides. Probably buff the front of this to get it to look good. New deck rollers. I think, yeah, we're actually missing one in the back. These, I actually don't even know what these things are for. They were already on the tractor. I have not a clue. They're just kind of hanging out in there. But those few things, some lighting, of course, we're going to get on this thing. And I think it's going to be a nice little project and end up being a nice, useful mower.